Throughout the making of this tour, my skills improved from very basic to a more advanced version. As I worked through different stages like research, planning, photography, editing, and design, I learned a lot and on very different personal levels. I started by doing research on dowry and looked at magazines like Feminist Times and Women Empowering Women to get inspiration. These magazines helped me understand how to present strong feminist messages in creative and bold ways. I also created audience surveys that helped me decide what kind of content people would connect with and more resonate with, what tone to use, and what visuals would have the most impact. For photography, I use the iPhone 13 Pro, which has great features like a triple lens camera system, smart HDR for deep fusion, and night mode. These help me take high quality photos and play around with the light, contrast, and focus. Instead of using an actual big DSLR camera, I found the iPhone much easier to carry. It was portable, and the photo shoot was outside in a garden instead of inside a room like most people because I wanted to give a more realistic and natural look. This backyard setting gave the photos a relatable feel, but it also came with its challenges as well. Since we were fully dependent on daylight, it was sometimes hard to manage lighting as it kept changing during the day. I had to adjust the angles and exposures carefully to keep the photos from looking consistent. I played around with different camera angles as well and shots and compositions as well. I used full shots, wide shots, and close ups to focus on emotion. This helped show the tension and seriousness of the issue. For designing the magazine, I started with easy tools like Canva and PixArt, but later on I decided to move on to Adobe Photoshop, which gave me a more controlled and better version. I learned how to use things like bold fonts and how to place quotations and simple color schemes and how to keep the magazine looking neat but also powerful. I also use basic design rules like rule of thirds, contrast, and negative space to keep everything well balanced and focused. Moreover, props were a big part of my photo shoot. I used traditional South Asian jewelry like bindis, bangles, and necklaces along with henna, which are commonly linked to brides in South Asian culture. I also rented a full bridal outfit to keep things authentic, to show the pressure of dowry. I included a real car and car keys in the shoot. Since a car is a very common dowry demand in South Asian culture, these props helped me show how much importance is placed on money and items during marriage discussions rather than the bride's willingness and happiness instead. For my model, I asked a friend who was comfortable and willing to take on the role of a bride facing dowry pressure. Because this topic is very sensitive, I made sure they were emotionally ready and fully understood the concept. This helped us create an emotional and physical shoot and a more realistic effect. I also made sure to get full consent to use their photos in the magazine. While working on this tour helped me grow in many ways. I learned how to tell powerful stories through images and design while focusing on an important issue like dowry. The project taught me how visuals can be used to create real awareness and start meaningful conversations. Working on this tour taught me so many things, not just about making a magazine, but also about what it means to be a cinematographer and an editor. As a person taking the photos, I learned how important it is to choose the right camera angles, lighting, and framing. I used wide shots to show the full scene and close-up shots to show emotion. Since I shot everything outside in a garden, I had to work with natural light, which was sometimes tricky. The sunlight kept changing, so I had to be quick and adjust my shots to make sure everything looked clear and emotional. This helped me think creatively and solve problems on the spot, which made me a better problem solver and a better photographer. Apart from photography, I also learned a lot of things as an editor. Editing was new to me, but I learned how to choose the best photos and improve them using editing tools. I practiced changing the brightness, colors, and contrast and gradients to make sure the images look strong and professional. I also learned how to place text in the right spots and image behind the text, so it didn't take away from the picture. an image behind the text. Adobe Photoshop helped me in many ways. It helped me understand many things like layering, font styles, and how to keep pages looking clean and interesting. This whole experience showed me how pictures and words work together to tell a powerful story. It taught me how to be patient, pay attention to small detail, and use creativity to talk about serious issues like dowry.